with Sunshine Creations and Crafts, and I've been asked by a couple of viewers to do a tutorial on the gift bags that I've been making for the gift bag note card sets. Now keep in mind that this particular bag style design can be made in a lot of different sizes, but for the note cards, this is the size that I've made. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due. The first person that I saw do this particular design, her name is Jackie Bolhuis. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And she did a gift bag starting out with the 12 by 12. And I thought she had a really good idea too. She showed the score lines on where everything's at for the particular gift bag. Now this is going to be starting out with a 10 by 10, and one thing that you always need to make sure of is the sides and the bottom are equivalent, whether it's 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch, whatever it is, 1 inch. You have to have the sides and the bottom equivalent. Now as far as the top flap goes, you can have a flap, you don't have to have a flap. It can be 2 inches, 1 inch, quarter inch, whatever size you want. That's not important, it's just that these are equivalent. So ultimately the bag's going to end up being 6 by 6. And let's go ahead and get started on this. Now I kind of did a couple things ahead of time. This is Basil Craft cardstock, and I scored everything, and as you can see it's scored 2 inches all the way around. On one of the sides, you always have to have 2 pieces of the same kind of paper to make the bags. On one of the sides you want to cut one of the bottom squares completely out. Then on the other one, you just want to cut the lines horizontal, just to that 2 inch score line. Now if there's any kind of special paper or design or anything like that you want to put on it, you want to do that after you put your box together, or in this case I'm going to put some burlap on this. So let's go ahead and do some scoring. Some folding down here. That's going to be my top flap. My sides. You want to push down real hard because then your box stays together real nice. Alright, now take your page that you've cut the squares out of, and you do not have to do this, but when I was watching the video with Jackie, I thought, oh, that's a great idea, I have to do that. It just stabilizes your bag. Now this is actually just a piece of chipboard that I got a whole stack of it at Joann's, and I cut it size of the bag, 6 inches by the size of the flap. I'm almost out of glue. You know what? I'm going to take a chance and put a piece of score tape down here and hope that I get it on right the first time. It looks like I have. I want to make sure I'm actually lining it up with this score line so that the bag folds up. Alright, that looks good. Alright, now since this is plain paper, it doesn't really matter how you're lining things up, but if you do have patterned paper, you have to be careful where you're lining things up. So I'm going to put this as will help me if I hold it back the right way. Just like this, and then you're literally just going to fold up your box. But before I do that, a couple things. I want to put a piece of square tape right there to hold my flap down. I'm just going to put it right on the very edge. I'm going to do the same on this side. Because once you get your box together, you're not able to adhere your flap down. It's going to stick up. Okay, and the other thing that I do before I put the box together is I put in my eyelets. And I kind of just judge, like this is, let me grab my ruler here, you know, 6 inches, which is, there we go. And you kind of think, well, I think I will grab my pencil here, go in at 1 inch and 1 inch. And this ruler just happens to be, that looks like about 1 inch wide, but I want my eyelets to go up a little bit. So I'm going to put it, oh, about right there. Just put a little mark there. Make sure that they are even. And then I take my chomper, or my crimper, I mean, my chomper. And because this paper is not too thick, I can put it together, so I'm making sure that the holes are even, Steven on both sides. And I'm going to use the big hole punch. You don't have to have one of these unless you're wanting to put eyelets in, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to get my little chomper guy ready. And it's double thickness, so I may have to push it a little harder. Nope, went right through. And again, got the camera in my face, so it's hard to, there we go. And then we're going to put the eyelets in. And I put a little bit of glue around it. Not a whole lot. Grab my eyelet. Do one at a time. And then I think I have the right setting on this. Yes. Get the eyelet on there. Oh, I quenched it. My strength. I don't know my own strength. Okay, let's not push it too hard this time, huh? There we go. Set that aside. Oh, these are the eyelets that I bought, by the way. And you can get them anywhere that sells fabric. I got these at a place that we have in town called Beverly's. I don't know if Michael's sells them. I have not looked there. Usually get my paper and stuff, not my sewing, at Michael's. Another thing that you want to do if you're going to put any sort of decorative edge on your flap is you want to do that before you put the eyelets on, which I didn't. I jumped the gun, so we'll have to make a little adjustment here. Now, for the flap on this one, I want to put these on. So, because I messed up, I'm going to have to drop that down a little bit, like that, which is okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on now. Hang in there, glue. You're almost done. Just going to drop it to the edge. Now this is cut at 2 inches by 12 inches. And it's just the size of the paper, 12 inches. And, oh, I used my Fisker's scallop punch. That's what I meant to say. Looking for my scissors that are buried underneath all my stuff. And I'm going to trim that off. Somebody has got a very loud motorcycle outside my front yard this morning. And it's barely 7:20 in the morning, so that's kind of rude. I am really surprised that my dogs are not going crazy right now. Okay, and trim this off. All right, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put on this burlap, and I got this over Christmas time, and I think I'll be able to slide it right under there. Not really wanting to cut it, so we may have to fold it under. Let's try it anyway. You know what? Let's not do it like that. I'm gonna just put it on the front once I have the bag together. Okay, now let's put the bag together. So here's your chipboard piece, and you're just gonna match these two guys up. Oh, it just needed a good squeeze. It's almost out. Okay, so important things to do. Make sure that this edge, put it down here, and this edge are lined up so that your bag will line up when you're folding it up. And you know, just fold these flaps in. You can do that. There we go. I cut my chipboard just a little bit too long. I think it'll be okay. All right, so then we're going to fold these two, and they're just going to go slip right in with each other. Now, what was I going to say? I prefer to have this open end as the back of the bag. I think it just looks more finished. You're going to go right on the edge. If you're using score tape, go right on the edge as well. Score tape, it gets done quicker, but if you need to maneuver it around a little bit, once you have the score tape down, that's it. I mean, shoot, I got glue on it. With the glue, you kind of have to hold it, or you can flip it up like so, and hopefully you guys can see that. So I have my flap this way. That's going to go like that. Okay, flip that over. And then on the inside, your little flaps can be pushed down over that piece of chipboard. Or you don't even have to put chipboard. You can put another piece of cardstock in there just to reinforce the bottom a little bit better. All right, so like I said, I'm going to put this burlap on it. And what I should have done, looking at it now, is I should have put the burlap on prior to putting my flap down, because now I can't get that under there. And I didn't want that bottom to fray, but I'm going to put the burlap on. That's what I wanted to do. So if it's frayed a little bit, it's cute. I don't like it. I mean, and there's also glue you can buy that helps it not fray. And I'm using score tape because the glue will ooze through it, out it. Now I've got about 1 minute to finish this, so I'm going to go ahead and put the burlap on, and I'll do a second video on the note cards that I do. And then I'll have a picture of this as well for you all to see. All right, I'm going to turn this off and I'll be back with another video. Thanks so much for watching.